Hey, little sisters, welcome to our very second yoga flow posted on this channel. And I was actually second guessing myself and doubting myself about this flow because even though technically it is for beginners, it's a little more intense, but please don't let that discourage you. I invite you to just come along with me. I'm telling you, it is a real treat. We are going to focus on hips and some shoulders, and basically, I want you to really lean into yourself. Trust your body, trust yourself. I know you can get through this. So, I am going to unmic myself and get down on the floor, and we're going to do some moves. So, again, I definitely just want to remind you, if anything feels off or strenuous, please listen to your body. Definitely reset and try the pose again. But if you are having difficulty, then you can just come into easy pose or just kind of relax until we move into the next pose. That doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you can't do yoga. It just means that we're very mindful of our bodies. So I am going to go ahead and get started, and I really can't wait to show you this flow. I'm nervous and excited, but I think you're gonna, no, I know you're gonna enjoy it. All right, girls, well, let's get it together, and I'll meet you on the mat. Okay, hi guys, it's voiceover Tiffany again. As always, I like to start my practice with a meditation, and this is where I just, set an intention for the practice. So join me here. It can be for as little or as long as you like. If you like to meditate a little bit longer, then go ahead and pause, get yourself where you need to be, and just come on back. Okay, so now we are starting with our seated torso circles, and we do this about 5 times, but it's completely up to you if you want to do less or more. Next, we have our revolved easy pose, and we're going to stretch over to the right, and this feels so good. All of them feel good, really. All right, you are going to release the stretch, and then we're going to come to tabletop position. And next, what we're going to do is a really awesome move called thread the needle. Basically, you're going to take your right hand, bring it up, and kind of thread it through the left hand. You are going to place that right shoulder on the ground, and you're going to kind of stack your elbow over your wrists, rest your head on your mat, and just sit here for a few breaths while you breathe through this glorious stretch. All right, next we're gonna come to puppy dog pose. I think this pose is so cute. It just totally looks like a little puppy. So, one of my favorites, of course. All right, so we're gonna tuck our toes and lift into downward facing dog. And you can stay in downward facing dog or you can paddle. It is completely up to you. So now we're going to transition into a wide child's pose. So you first put your knees on the ground, touch your big toes together, and kind of spread your knees apart to give your torso room to kind of lay flat on your mat. And you can have your hands extended, you can have them at your side. Again, it's totally up to you. And next we're going to sit up in thunderbolt pose, and essentially you are just resting your seat bones on your heels and kind of breathing through this stretch. And now we are going to go through this warm-up flow once again, but this time we are going to work on our left side. So we start in easy pose. So just have a seat, get comfortable, and just kind of realign yourself. And then we are going to go ahead and go into those seated torso circles. And again, I do this about 4 or 5 times. All right, we stop in easy and we go ahead and stretch over to that left side and revolved easy. Let's neutralize our spine, coming back to easy before we transition into tabletop. And again, we are going into thread the needle. That left arm goes up in the sky and threads through under the right, and stack your elbows over your wrists and just enjoy this glorious pose. Now we're going to come into puppy dog pose. Now tuck your toes, inhale, and lift to downward facing dog. And let's sit back into child's pose. And then we're gonna lean and sit in thunderbolt. And that was it for our warm-up. So now we are going to start our first round, our first flow. All right, so now we are going to either walk, jump, or hop to the front of our mat, and we're gonna reconvene in mountain pose. So stand tall, breathe, ground your feet to the earth, and just remember to stay present in this moment. All right, we're going to step back into warrior one. So as we get settled, we're going to raise our arms and just lean into that stretch. We have reverse warrior. So you're going to go ahead and just drop your left arm and lean back, arch your spine, and just kind of lean into reverse warrior. Next, we're going to transition into warrior two, and warrior two is one of my favorite poses. It's probably one of the most common, and what you're going to do, you're going to align your back arch with the back of your front heel. So that's how you kind of stay in alignment with warrior two. All right, so we're going to straighten that front knee and reach all the way down. This is triangle pose. All right, next we're gonna transition into half moon. And as you see, the struggle was real, but we're still gonna keep going. Well, I lost my footing a little bit, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going. So now this is called sugarcane pose, and basically you're gonna take your extended foot, bend at the knee, and hold. And this feels really, really good, guys. All right, so now we are going to step back into high lunge as soon as we get our balance back. All right, so you're gonna lean into that high lunge, and don't forget to breathe. And I don't know if I mentioned this, I probably should have mentioned this before, but we're doing 4 complete rounds of breath. So inhale, exhale 4 times. All right, so now we're gonna transition into runner's lunge. All right, now this is fun. This is the 3-legged downward dog into half pigeon. Guys, talk about a hip opener, honey. So now we're gonna swing that extended leg, bring our feet together, and you can grab the front of your feet or your ankles or your shins, however you're comfortable, and you're gonna kind of draw your feet into your body for this particular stretch. And our next position is butterfly, and this is where you kind of like pull your body down to the earth, and the backside stretch, so good. All right, and now we are going to relax in easy pose and kind of, readjust ourselves and get ready to do it on the left side. All right, so Once again, we're going to meet at the top of our mat in mountain. All right, so on the opposite side, we are going to step into warrior one. So step back, bring your arms up to the sky and lean into the stretch. All right, we're going to draw our hand down our calf and lean back, arch your back, and this is such an amazing stretch. All right, so come out of reverse warrior and twist your foot, and you're gonna go ahead and twist it at a 45-degree angle. Align your heel to your arch and lean into warrior two. And here I'm just double checking to make sure my heel and arches are aligned. All right, straighten your front leg. Bring your hand down to your mat and stretch into triangle. So now we're going to raise our rear foot. As you can see, the struggle is real, but we're going to keep going. So this is half moon. And again, I just want to remind you, we're not looking for perfection. We are just looking to align ourselves with our bodies. And come on, foot. Yes. Now we are in sugar cane. Okay, we're going to release our back foot and step into that high lunge. And again, as you can see, like I said, we're not looking for perfection. And another thing too is I hope you guys see my mistakes and feel comfortable. So yeah. All right, and then we're gonna go into the three-legged dog, and we're gonna bring our knee to nose and then step into half pigeon. All right, let's transition into bound angle. Bring those feet in close and stretch, stretch, stretch. All right, now we're gonna lean into butterfly. Again, such a lovely, lovely stretch for the rear side. All right, and then we are going to release into easy pose. We're doing good. It was getting intense, but we're getting there. We made it. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and transition into round 2. And we are gonna start at the top of the mat into mountain again. So we're gonna meet here in mountain pose. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take our right foot, and you can rest it on your thigh like I'm doing here, or if you have limited mobility, you can just kind of rest your heel against your ankle and keep your toes on the ground. And we're going to raise our hands up and hold our hands together, and this is tree pose. All right, so now we're going to transition into a standing forward fold. And next we're going to inhale and come to a halfway lift and breathe. All right, and from halfway lift, we are going to go into chair pose. And next, we're going to bring our hands to our heart and kind of rotate at our trunk. And this is called revolved chair pose. And you guys guessed it, you know what I'm going to say, another amazing stretch. I pretty much love all the revolve pose, to be completely honest with you guys. All right, release, and we are going to hop into downward facing dog. Again, you're more than welcome to stay in downward facing dog, or you can paddle it out with me. Completely up to you. All right, so we're gonna do a 3-leg downward dog, knee to nose into low lunge. So I literally just caught this just now, but my form is completely off. But like I said, I made a few mistakes and I'm keeping them in. So that front foot is supposed to be flat and it's supposed to be more at a 90-degree angle. Right now we're in revolved low lunge. Again, I wish I was more cognizant of my body, but you live and you learn. All right, tuck that back foot and we're gonna lift into high lunge. Bring your arms to shoulder level and twist at the trunk, and you're going to be in revolved high lunge. Come back to a neutral high lunge to kind of neutralize our spine. And then we're going to lift that back leg up and we're going to go into warrior 3. Now this takes a lot of balance, so if you have to support yourself on a wall or a chair, feel free to do so. And again, we're going to reach back, grab our rear foot, and this is dancer pose. This is such a beautiful pose. I almost feel like a ballerina. And as you see, the struggle is real. All right, we're going to step back into Warrior 2. Again, just make sure that your heel is aligned with the arch in your right foot, and lean into Warrior 2. All right, so now we are going to bend into an extended side angle. All right, so we're going to rotate that front foot, and this is called a wide-legged forward bend. And hi, I'm saying hello. All right, so now we're going to transition into Warrior 2. And again, I'm just looking at my feet because I want to make sure that my heel and arch are aligned. All right, and now we are going into high lunge. So go ahead and lean in with that front leg and get those arms up and stretch. And then now we are transitioning into runner's lunge. And to be completely truthful, I don't know why I went into the 3-leg downward dog, but such is life. All right, so now we're going to take our 3-leg downward dog and settle into plank. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. This next pose, this is the 4-limbed staff pose. This one is difficult, okay? And actually, I'm not as low as I should be. Yeah, this one was really hard for me. So, it is what it is. All right, so we go from 4-limbed staff to cobra. So you're going to lower your hips to your mat and push up off your mat through your hands and your arms and get that stretch in. And then we're going to transition back into child pose. Now this is a little different from what we did in the warm-up. The warm-up was a wide child pose where your knees are further apart. This one is your traditional child pose. Your knees are together, your torso is essentially just laying on top. You can have your hands extended if you like. I have mine at my side, as you can see, but again, completely up to you. If you want to switch and do a wide child's pose, then by all means, absolutely do it. All right, so now we're going to hop to the front of our mat and we're going to do that all again on the other side. All right, we're all good. We're still here. All right, so we're starting in mountain. Transitioning to tree pose. And again, a gentle reminder, you can have your foot on your thigh, your knee, your calf, or your ankle. Completely up to you and your comfort level. Release, sweep our arms down and go into a standing forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lift. Okay, now we're coming into chair pose. And from chair pose, we are going to revolved chair pose. And another thing I forgot to point out is when you are in revolved chair pose, you can actually rest your elbow that's closest to your thigh on your knee or your thigh as well. That's what I'm doing here. All right, let's step, walk, hop into downward facing dog. Let's flow knee to nose, three-legged downward dog, low lunge. And then now we are in a revolved low lunge, and again our hand is down to our mat, we're twisting at our trunk, and we are just breathing through this stretch. And tuck your toes, lift into high lunge. Arms at shoulder level, twist into revolved high lunge. Come back to neutral, high lunge, neutralize that spine. Lift into warrior three. Oopsies. All right, let's try this again. Lift into warrior three. All right, bend that extended leg. All right, we're going again. Warrior three, bend, grab your foot and hold. And I know it looks like I'm like holding on to my TV, but if you see, my hand is actually like kind of like stop. So I'm actually like in front of it. All right, step into warrior two. You saw the look on my face. This was intense, but it was fun. Hand to your mat, and we are going into an extended side angle. And again, my form is off. I'm supposed to be in a straight line through my foot, leg, hip, shoulder, arm, but yeah. All right, rotate that front foot, and this is our wide leg forward bend. All right, so now we're going to go back into Warrior 2. And then high lunge. Back into runner's lunge. And knee to nose, 3-leg downward dog, and we're gonna go into plank. And then from here, 4-limbed staff pose, or my attempt. Lower down to cobra, untuck your toes, lift through your hands. And bring your hips back, child's pose. All right, so now we are ready for our cool down, and this cool down is really special, guys. You'll see. So this pose is called garland pose, and as you can see, I know you guys are feeling good after what we just did. Oh, this is a welcome pose. And then we're just gonna kind of reach behind our right knee, and we're gonna hook our hands together, clasp our hands together behind our backs, and just kind of twist into that revolved garland pose. All right, next is garland hands forward to neutralize our spine. And then here we're gonna kind of turn our feet in to come to a forward spinal roll up, and we're just gonna roll up slowly by each vertebrae, and we're here. So now we're gonna go back to our mat, start in garland pose, because we're gonna go ahead and stretch the other side. So we're in garland pose. Okay, and then we're gonna reach behind on the opposite side, interlace our fingers, and lean into that stretch. All right, and garland, hands forward. And then release to the forward spinal roll up. And you cool cats and kittens, we have completed this flow. I am so proud of you. You did amazing. And the next thing we're going to do is come into Savasana or corpse pose. And you can stay here for as little or as long as you like. But what I like to do is just kind of ground myself and show my body appreciation for how she just got me through, honey. And no, but whatever you feel is appropriate for you in this moment, I invite you to do that. And yeah, we did it. Good job. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on our second yoga flow on this channel. And again, if you like this content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I'm going to try to release these videos about once a week. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And thank you so much. And I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Thank you.